Hello there! Happy Monday! Welcome back to Black Metal Monday. It has been a very long ass time since I've recorded any Black Metal Monday videos, and that is simply just because I haven't been really listening to it or buying it really. This year has been very slow on the Black Metal releases for me. For me, don't go being all like, what about this? What about this? Because probably I haven't heard it yet. I just haven't been in the mood for Black Metal. It just hasn't been my thing lately. I've been heavily into death metal. I mean, Melanie loves death metal. It's the reason why this channel is named that. And I've been super into grindcore again. And then also listening to a little bit of power metal, heavy metal, thanks to Marty and Alan. Just trying to get myself to be a little bit more worldly in terms of the metal genres. So black metal's been kind of taking a back seat. But lately, I have been going off of some recommendations of some friends. They keep bringing up these albums to me, so I finally got around and listened to them. And I bought them because I really, really enjoyed them. So these are three albums I'm going to talk about today that are all new releases this year. They've been out for a couple months already, so I'm pretty behind on this, but I really do enjoy them, and I figured I'll show them off today and talk about them and see what you guys think about them. So the first one is, I'm going to start with some tapes. So I did talk about this project, or this artist, in a video sometime last year, because this album came out last year. So Helleruin released a new album this year, but his War Upon Man came out last year, and this was one of my favorite releases to come out last year in terms of black metal. It's definitely got that raw black metal sounding, with that like old school traditional black metal sound, but definitely more of the raw sound on here, not as super raw like Black Sleece or anything like that, but it's got that like new wave of raw black metal that's been going around. So this was a really good album last year. Well, he released a new one this year, and I hadn't listened to it yet. And I blind bought it because I knew that I really liked his first release. And so I did buy Devil's Death and the Dark Arts. I got the snag the tape off of his Big Cartel. And if you're not familiar, Helleruin is a one-man black metal band or project, I'm not sure what you want to call them, out of the Netherlands. So this is his second full length that he's released, and I think there's probably been a couple of splits and EPs out there here and there. But this came out, this is the new Aara Productions tape. I don't know for sure what, if it's been pressed by anybody, any other labels or anything like that. It's just a smoky tape, and then your classic black metal J card of the spikes and then the lyrics. So yeah, I again have not been listening to a lot of black metal. So if you're about to be like, where have you been? That's why. Yeah. So this album, in my opinion, although I've seen some people say the opposite, but that's okay, totally fine, is better than the first album, and I think the reason for that is this one has a little bit more of that traditional black metal sound of like, I wouldn't say like it sounds exactly like Immortal, but there's some things on here that remind me of Immortal. There's some things on here that also sound like, the newer black metal soundings of like Lamp of Murmur, which sounds like Immortal. But he's kind of like, the raw black metal is a little bit lessened on this album. It's definitely, in my eyes, a step ahead in terms of the sound. Maybe he's trying to step into his own. I'm not too sure. It's not too innovative. It's not anything that I haven't heard before. Like, it's got a lot of influences of other artists and bands out there. But I enjoyed this album a lot more from the very beginning of when I listened to it than I did to this one. This one took me about 2 or 3 listens to really for it to click for me. This one was, as soon as it started, I was into it. It's got a very strong like ferociousness to it. It's a pulverizing. It pulverizes you from the very beginning. And it does have a little bit of that melodicism to it. I think there's more melodic black metal melodicism to this album than there was in the first album. And I tend to enjoy that a little bit more when it comes to my black metal. There's a little bit more of that, not atmospheric black metal sound, but there is a type of atmosphere that he has built with this album that has more of that melodic and traditional black metal sound. again, just my opinion. I know a lot of people I've seen a lot of reviews that say either they really love this album or they preferred his first more raw sounding album. But in general, they're both very, very good. I think this is a fantastic one man band. He's a very, very creative artist, and he's pumping out really good music. I think in general, I'm just super behind, and I was blown away when I first heard this. I really, really enjoyed it. It stuck with me as soon as I heard it, and I was mad at myself for not getting onto it as soon as it came out. I think this came out in June. I got this in July. It's been sitting on my shelf for months. And when I moved and started packing all of my tapes, I was like, holy shit, I forgot I bought this. This was a blind buy. I bought it because I just really, really liked his first album. I was like, I doubt that I'm not going to like this one unless he goes like complete dungeon synth, which I knew he wasn't going to. I took that. And for anybody that's all like, you don't like dungeon synth, it's just really not for me. I like dungeon synthy like transitions on albums, but a whole entire album is just not my thing. But that's totally fine. Like, I get why people like it. It's just not a thing that I can listen to all the time. Now, that may change further down the road. There might be a time where I listen to something and it's a mood that I'm in, and it just does something for me. But for right now, it's just not anything that I'm into. But yeah. So in general, I think it's a really good album. Like I said, I really enjoyed more of that melodicism that came with this. There was definitely some of those elements in here, but this had more of that raw sound, that raw type of black metal structuring and stuff like that. This one has a little bit more of a progression. I wouldn't say like maturity, because that's not the right word, because he's a fantastic songwriter on the first album as well. But there's just the sound production is a little bit different, a little bit more, not like polished by any means, but it comes off a little less raw black metal is what I'm trying to say. So great album. Let me know if you've listened to this. I'm sure you have. I know I'm behind, but I might actually pick up the record. I don't know, but for now the tape is good. It sounds fantastic, by the way. This tape sounds fantastic, and I know tapes have a reputation of sounding like absolute garbage sometimes. This tape sounds incredible. They did a really good job of dubbing this onto the tape. I don't know. Good job, New Era Productions. This sounds fantastic. So yeah, good stuff. He has his own big cartel. I know that there's a Bandcamp, although I saw somewhere that it got removed for no reason, which happens a lot with black metal artists, just because people, I don't know why that happens. So I'm not sure if the Bandcamp is up or not yet, but I'll link the big cartel, and I'll link the Bandcamp if it's there. So I'll try to do that. So yeah, Helleruin, good stuff. Okay, so now that I've rambled for 8 minutes, Jesus Christ, on that first record, I do have a couple of records, vinyls I want to show you. The first one that I have to show is actually one that I donned, one of my favorite releases this year so far. And I've really enjoyed all of his other work that he has put out already. But yeah, I mean, I kind of knew I was going to like this right away. I just had to be in the right mood for it, and that's essentially what happened. So what I'm talking about is the new Afsky album. One man out of Denmark does all of the instruments and stuff. This is a third full-length album. I really, really liked the last album that came out. It was either last year or the year before. Cannot pronounce it. I'm not even going to try, and I can't pronounce this one either. So there you go. That's the name of it. But yeah, this is very emotional, depressive, atmospheric black metal. In the same vein of his last album, I think this one is probably a better improvement, and I've really enjoyed this. I like the album a lot. I listened to it a ton. It's very dark. It's very depressing sounding. It's got those really high-pitched screams in terms of the vocal style. But it definitely it hits the right like chord, or I don't know what's right. Like it really hits the right spot in terms of that black metal, atmospheric black metal sound that I want to listen to. And it's one that I've been spinning just about every day since I've gotten it. I finally like bit the bullet and I got this off of Meteor Gem. Meteor Gem is really good about grabbing releases from Vendetta Records, which is what this was put out on. And it was sitting there for a while, and I was surprised because when this came out, I saw a lot of people giving it high praise and talking about it, and it was sold out on Bandcamp and stuff. But when I saw it sitting there on Meteor Gem a couple of weeks ago, and I was preparing my list of what's come out already this year that's my favorite for a stream that I did for Heavy Metallurgy, I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this record because I've listened to it so much digitally. I want to own it. I have the other two that have come out, so I might as well grab it. So it comes with a lyric book, which is a nice touch. However, I am not a huge fan of these like little tiny books that are in jackets, mostly because of shipping and they like rattle around. Meteor Gem is really good about taking everything out of the jacket and putting it in the poly bag separate so that you don't get those seam split issues. But sometimes people don't know that and they'll ship this inside the jacket. It'll bang all around it and create seam splits. So that's the only reason why I don't care too much for these types of inner things. But a lot of black metal artists do this. I don't know why, but they do. But yeah, it's a really nice lyric book. I can't read any lyrics. It's all in a different language. And that's it. I mean, there's no like pictures or anything like that. It is just straight up lyrics in paper. But yeah, and then I just got plain black vinyl. I know there was a color edition, but like I said, it sold out pretty fast. The stickers are pretty cool, so I'll show those. It's the artwork. It's upside down. But yeah, so yeah, again, very emotional, depressing sounding black metal, very atmospheric, the high pitched screaming, and it's really good. It's a quick listen for me. I find that I flip it to side B and then it's over, and I'm like, well, time to listen to it all over again. It's only 6 songs, but you get well worth the music for only being 6 songs. So yeah, this has, again, gotten some pretty high praise, and I think this is the best record so far. I really liked Sorg. I think that's how you say it. I thought that was a great album, and then the album that came out, I think, was it last year? That album was really, really good, but this one definitely, to me, is my favorite so far. So I think it's always good when a band is progressing album to album to where they're still good, it's still good, and ends up being your favorite one. Like, it's good when bands are doing that. They're not losing their touch, and they're progressing with the music that they're writing. So, yeah. So this was one that I've been listening to, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. So I'm just talking to the abyss already. Everybody's probably already talked about it on YouTube. But yeah, check out Afsky. It's good stuff. And then finally, the last one was a blind buy. I hadn't listened to this at all. I heard snippets of the past albums that have come out and thought, oh, that sounds good. It sounds like something I would like, but just never went back to it because, again, I haven't really been in the mood for black metal. But Simon from Explosive Action did a review of this on Heavy Metallurgy. Was it like last month? And then when we did our stream of our favorite albums that come out this year so far, he also talked about this on there. And after that stream was done, that night, I went on Deborah Morty's US store, and I bought it. And I hadn't listened to it at all until 2 days ago when I received it. And that is the new Aara, Triad 3 Nyx. Probably butchered that. Out on Deborah Morty Productions, this is the final installment of a trilogy that they've released. The other 2 are on order. I ordered them after I listened to this. Immediately haven't heard them either, so just trying to do the blind listen here. I don't do this very often at all, but Simon had high praises for it, and him and I have very similar tastes when it comes to death metal and black metal. And I don't think he's ever suggested anything to me that I haven't liked. So this was a blind buy, just for that reason. It comes with like a special jacket. I don't know. There's like a special edition jacket, which is kind of nice. I don't know. Devin Morty always presses really nice records. And then here's like the original cover art that you're probably used to seeing. And there you go. And then this is some Galaxy Golds or whatever. Surprisingly, these are all still in stock. So if you're looking for it, it's still there. It's nice. It goes really well with the album cover artwork. But yeah, it came quick. Also, just a tidbit, you can get their releases through Indie Merch as well. Their Indie Merch is a distro for them. And then the printed inner sheet right there. So again, a very atmospheric type of black metal, that almost like depressive black metal. Not as much as Afsky, I don't think, at least not in my opinion. But the thing that I love about this album is not so much the riffs in the atmosphere that it has created. It's the vocals. I absolutely love this guy's high screaming vocals, and the shrill, shrieking vocals are just some of my favorite in terms of black metal music, and that's what really I gravitated towards. And yeah, it's a really good listen. It's captivating. It's emotional black metal. It's not anything that I listen to on a normal basis. Afsky probably is the closest that I would say in terms of the sound of what I would listen to. But yeah, maybe I'm blanking on maybe the one other band. Somebody's probably going to scream at me in the comments about, they sound like this. You didn't say that. I'm not perfect, all right? I don't claim to be some black metal expert here. But yeah, I just really love the vocal style on here. It's really got that melodicism to it as well that I really enjoy. It's got a really dark and depressing and ferocious atmosphere to it. It just, in general, sounds like a really, really emotional album. Again, in terms of the lyrics, I don't really know what they're saying. But the band is from Switzerland. I forgot to call that out. And this is their fourth full length. Yeah, all the lyrics are in a different language. So, but yeah, Switzerland, their fourth full length. So they have this trilogy. And then there's another album that they've released before this. And yeah, it's really good. Simon was right. It is a great album. It's probably, like, again, I can't say if it's the best of the trilogy because I haven't heard the other two. But I do have them on order. They're coming. So I'll be interested. It has been a very long time since I've blind bought an album, with the exception of Helleruin that I just talked about, but I already knew what I was getting into with that. But for this band, I heard like maybe one song last year. And it just kind of fell off my radar after that. And then I popped it on a couple days ago when I got it, and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is definitely the style of black metal that I really enjoy, especially with the newer types of black metal music. So yeah. Again, you guys have probably all already heard this, so it's not anything new, but I just wanted to show it off. It's a beautiful vinyl. Just a very beautiful pressing, great quality. Same with the Afsky record. Vendetta does really good pressings as well. They also release a lot of good music. Check out Vendetta too. But Devin Morty is probably one of my favorite labels right now. They also have, there's my dog, Archgoad and Bluetooth Nord and all those other, White Ward and all those other amazing bands. So good stuff, good quality pressings. And yeah, like I said, Indie Merch does U.S. distribution as well. But they also have a U.S. store now too, so you can get it from both areas. So yeah, Aara, good stuff. Let me know what you think. Check them out. that is all I have. You're probably wondering where the puppy cam has been. He is not in the room right now. He currently is getting groomed, so he's just not here. My other dog, however, is out there barking at God knows what, and she is in and out, and I just figured not having the camera up pointed at an empty bed, and what is she barking at? My goodness. I don't know, she just heard something. Who knows? So yeah, he's gone. There's now she's in here wagging around. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have. Black Metal Monday is a few and far in between. I haven't bought anything else since, with the exception of the other 2 Aara albums. So when I get them, maybe I'll talk about them. But I don't know when the new one will be. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's all. I'll see you guys in the next one.